From Mayor Ted Wheeler, City Commissioner Dan Saltzman, and Kimberly Dinwiddie with the Oregon Department of Transportation. We'll have some short remarks and then we'll be available for questions.
Great, thank you everyone. For a while it looked like we might enjoy a mild winter. Unfortunately, Mother Nature did not get the memo. The National Weather Service has informed us to expect between 3 and 7 inches of snow in the Portland region this afternoon. They've also said to expect freezing temperatures overnight. This means that Portlanders can expect difficult traveling conditions during today's evening commute and during tomorrow's morning commute. In a moment, Commissioner Saltzman is going to tell you what the city is doing to help Portlanders get home safely this evening. I want to tell you what I think Portlanders can do as well. First, if you can delay your travel this afternoon, please do so. Take some time and have a nice meal at one of our restaurants. Give our city crews the time and the space they need to do their work well. If the roads are jammed with traffic, it makes it very hard for city crews to plow and treat the streets. If you do have to travel, please consider taking transit. To make it more convenient to take transit and avoid driving, we're instituting a parking amnesty in all of our metered districts. It will start today at 3 p.m. and extend until tomorrow at noon. If you do take transit, please always check trimet.org/alerts for the latest routes and time information. For tomorrow, if you can avoid traveling, please plan to do so. If you must drive, plan your route carefully. Know the weather at your destination. It might be very different from where you're starting out. Match your driving to the conditions. Look out for people who might choose to bike or walk. Have chains and know how to use them. Carry an emergency kit with you. If you're biking, please dress for the weather so that you stay warm and dry. In these conditions, it's critically important that you protect your head. Wear a helmet. Be seen. Use front and rear lights and wear reflective gear. Brake early and brake often. Give yourself more time to stop safely. If you're walking, always cross at a crosswalk or at a corner. Make sure you're seen, so wear bright or reflective clothing. Dress warmly. As you probably heard all of our moms say many times, wear a hat. Good advice then, good advice now. And finally, remember, it's the responsibility of each of us to shovel the sidewalks in front of our own property. Thank you. Now I'll turn this over to Commissioner Saltzman, who is the Transportation Commissioner for the City of Portland.
Thank you, Mayor. This morning, in anticipation of the coming winter weather, the Portland Bureau of Transportation shifted into incident command mode. This means that crews will be working 12-hour shifts around the clock to make key city streets passable. PBOT will also be staying in incident command mode until the storm is over. We will be deploying 55 snow plows, and if you wish to track in real time where those snow plows are, please go to portlandoregon.gov/winter. The Portland Water Bureau has also outfitted their trucks with plows to assist us if necessary. In response to last year's severe winter, we introduced key changes in how we approach winter weather. Chief among those is the use of salt. We used salt on our primary salt routes on Sunday and again on Monday, and we saw good results. We are again deploying an expanded use of salt during this event. In addition to the streets that we've identified previously in our salt plan, we will be treating these following streets as well. Northwest Cornell Road, from Northwest 25th Avenue to Northwest Skyline Boulevard. Southwest Broadway Drive, from Southwest Patton Road to Southwest Broadway or the 405 juncture. Southwest Vista Avenue from Southwest Broadway to West Burnside, and Southwest Fairmont Loop from Southwest Patton to Southwest Talbot. It's important to remind travelers that while salt is an effective tool in our toolkit, it is not a silver bullet. Portlanders will still need to travel with caution, as the mayor just reminded us. And please do not abandon your cars in travel lanes. If you do, you are liable to find your car ticketed or towed, or both. If you do find yourself in a situation where you are losing traction, please make every effort to find a safe side of the road and park your car in a safe and legal way. And for all travelers, I have one very important piece of advice, and that's please stay out of the way of our snowplows. It may seem obvious, but it is a problem. And please don't pass them. You're likely to find the road in front of them much worse than the road behind the snowplows. Bad weather is inevitable. Unsafe travel doesn't have to be. With caution and common sense, we can all get home safe. Thank you. Now I'll turn it over to our Transportation Director, Leah Tree. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on, Representative Kimberly Dinwiddie.
Thank you, Commissioner. As Mayor Wheeler already mentioned, driving in winter conditions is never a safe choice. And at ODOT, we recommend that you get safely situated before the storm hits. So please pay attention to the forecast today and road conditions and ensure that you and your families get home safe. We need your help. We have the staff, we have the equipment, and we have the tools to keep the roads passable and safe. However, we cannot be everywhere at once, and we need room to work. So please, give us the room to clear the roads and consider delaying your travel until road conditions improve. If you must drive, please be prepared with the knowledge and the ability to drive safely in these conditions. And don't abandon your vehicle. If you abandon your vehicle, it blocks us from doing our jobs to get the roads clear, but it also prevents people from receiving life-saving emergency services from fire and ambulances. If you abandon your vehicle, it will be towed, and it will be towed at your expense. We have 5 crews just working in the Portland metro area alone, and they are staffed 24 hours a day. And we have a multitude of snowplows, sand, deicer, and we will be prepared to use salt. If necessary, we could use salt on US 26 from Highway 217 to I-405, as well as Interstate 5 between 217 and the Fremont Bridge, and Interstate 405 from the Fremont Bridge to the Markham Bridge. Salt will be used based on conditions, and those decisions will be made in real time. During weather like this, we still need to expect dicey road conditions, and travelers need to be prepared. Check road conditions before heading out by visiting tripcheck.com and know before you go.
I think we're ready to take some questions, if there are any questions, and then we'll be available for one-on-ones as well.
Typically, West Burnside is always a problem area, and we saw it Sunday as well. Can you tell us, are there any extra precautions being done to make sure drivers are getting up and down the West Hills safely?
The extra precautions are, we're going to start enforcing, depending on conditions, traction devices. So we're going to partner with the Portland Police Bureau to actually barricade the road and not let people through unless they have the proper traction devices.
Could you give us your name, please?
Leah Tree, Director of the Portland Bureau of Transportation.
Set of questions?
Another one. At what point are you going to decide when traction devices will be necessary across the board?
Yeah, typically we only restrict Sam Jackson and Burnside for traction devices. Those are our 2 known most troubled spots. So I don't we don't anticipate at this point having closures anywhere else. But we would definitely send out a media release and alert people on Twitter and Facebook and through other accounts if we do any closures beyond that.
It was our crew's experience that on Burnside on Sunday, that those treatments made on that day were very successful. Can you comment on that?
Sure, and thank you for the feedback. We largely believe it's because we started using salt. There's a difference in how salt is treating the snow and ice. It's just a more effective treatment we've found so far. This is our first deployment this year. If you all remember, last year we did it on a pilot basis. By the time we actually put the salt down on the roadway, we were too far into a storm and too deep in ice and cold weather to really have an effective review of it or to understand really how effective it was. And so this is the first time we've used it this year, and in comparison to our mag chloride treatments that we've put down over the past 2 days, we've found salt to be more effective, but we're going to continue to study its use and deploy it.
It was kind of hard to come by last year, salt was. With the big change this year, and how much do we have?
Yeah, by the time we wanted to get some salt last year, it was all spoken for. So this year, I think we ordered, what were we saying? 300. I think we ordered 300 tons, and I do want to point out that we paid extra for our salt to make sure that we got anti-corrosive salt, so people who are worried about the undercarriages of their car being rusted out by our use, we spent some extra money to make sure that we got anti-corrosive materials put in our salt.
With the snow that we've had already today, do you feel like that complicates anything, or at this point is it kind of a clean slate for what we're going to get later this afternoon?
Well, in the Southwest Hills, we're already experiencing accumulations in some slick roads, so I think, as always, Southwest is tricky for us, and I think the accumulation there is just going to make it a little more challenging, but it's always more challenging in the Southwest Hills, and then over in the Mount Scott neighborhood, it's always challenging for us, but for the rest of the city, we feel like it's a clean slate, ready to go for the evening deployment.
Can you talk a little more about the ability to track the deicers on that website and how cool that feature is? Seems to be a big help.
Thank you. It is a really cool feature. So we have navigation systems on all of our vehicles. So we have plows, we have deicers, and we have service vehicles. And so if you go to that website, you can click on the type of vehicle you want to track, and it follows that truck in real time. I think there's like a 30-second delay at most, so you can watch them move around the city and know what we're doing where. Thank you for that.
Last question? All set? Thanks for being here. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it.